So let's move on, and what we will do is, as our first step, we will do the running total of the number of tickets column. So for that we will use the scan function, right? This is newly introduced in Excel 365, and our initial value will be 0. Our array will be this number of tickets column, comma, and our function will be that we have to basically sum the previous result with the current value. So we will write lambda. Our previous value is, let's say, denoted by x. Our current value is denoted by c, and what we have to do is we have to do previous value, previous result, plus the current value. So we will write c here. Let's close the bracket, press enter, and we have got this array of running total. As our next step, what we will do is we will extract the starting number for the range of tickets, right? So we have to start a sequence, let's say for Jeff from 1001. So we will extract this particular number from this ticket range, right? So what we will do is equals to text before. So this is also a newly introduced function. Our text range will be this range. Then our delimiter will be a hyphen. Let's close the bracket, press enter, and we have got this as a result. Now this is formatted as text, right? So in order to format this as a number, we will multiply this by 1. So now this particular, the values in this particular array are formatted as numbers. And now as our next step, we will generate a sequence which will contain the number of rows that we will have in our resultant array. So as you can see here in the challenge sheet, that the number of rows that we have in our result is 36, right? So if I show you, the count is coming out to be 36, right? Similarly, we have to generate a sequence like that here as well. So we will use sequence function for that. Sequence, the number of rows will be the maximum of this running total, right? As you can see, we have 36 here. So we will have 36 rows in our resultant array, and we will write the formula sequence and press enter. So we have 36, sequence of 36 generated here. Now what we have to do is we have to repeat, let's say Jeff 10 times, we have to repeat Yuri 5 times, Eric 6 times, and likewise. So for that purpose, we will use xlookup function equals to xlookup. Our lookup value will be this array of sequence, comma, our lookup array will be this array of running total, comma, our return array will be this name column of this table, right? But this will not serve our purpose, because as you can see that in our lookup array we don't have any numbers like 1 2 3 4 5. We have 10, but not 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So for these numbers from 1 to 9, we want to see Jeff here, right? So we will not use exact match, but we will use exact match or next larger item, right? So let's close the bracket now, press enter, and we have got our desired result. So the first part of our problem is solved. Now comes the second part, and that is a bit tricky. So again, we will use the xlookup function in a similar manner, and our lookup value is this array. Our lookup array will be again similar, but our return array will be different. And let's say we keep this as our return array. Again, our match mode will be exact match or next larger item. Let's close the bracket now, press enter, and we have got this particular as our resultant array. But this is not exactly that we wanted to see. What we want is that this 1001 is absolutely correct here. This 2333 is absolutely correct here. But the next item below it should be an increment of 1, correct, from the previous value. So this is what we wanted. So for that, what we will do is uh, we will use another xlookup function. So basically, let's try to understand the concept for that first, that what is the kind of pattern that we want to generate here. So let's say for this particular first number, we have to subtract 0. We have to add 0 in this, because this is absolutely correct. Here the difference is of 1, so we will have to add 1 here. Here we will have to add 2. Here 3. Likewise, here we will have to add 9 here. Then again, for this particular change in name, we will have to add 0 here, because this is correct, right? This is what we wanted. Here we will have to add 1, then 2, then 3, right? Then 4 here. Likewise, here we will have to add 0, because this is correct here, and 1 again. So this is the kind of pattern that we are willing to generate. And one more pattern that you would observe is that in order to generate a 0 here, right, a 0 here, we will have to subtract 11 from this particular number. 12, 11 from this particular number, 11 from this particular 12, 11 from this particular 13, right? Because we want to generate 2 here. Similarly, this is the pattern. This is the pattern that we are going to follow. So again, we will use XLOOKUP function. So equals to XLOOKUP, but in a different manner. So XLOOKUP, our lookup value will be this array. Our lookup array will be this array, and our return array will be this array again. Right? I just now showed you the logic that why we are returning this as a return array, why we are using this as a return array. So again, we will use now next exact match or next smaller item. I gave you the logic that for this 11 we would want 11 here. So let's say in place of 11 we will get this 10 here, right? For this 8, for this 17 we want to see, we want to subtract basically 16 here, but we have this particular 15 as our number. So what we will do is we will use exact match or next smaller item. Let's close the bracket, press enter, and we are somewhat closer to our result, but not exactly, because we have got basically 11 minus 10 we will get 1, 12 minus 10 we will get 2. Similarly, for this 17 minus 15 we will get 2 but not 1. So the repair is easy for this particular sequence to generate. We will add 1 to this array, and we can subtract now 11 from this. 11 will give us 0, 12 minus 11 will give us 1, 13 minus 11 will give us 2. Similarly, 17 minus 16 will give us 1, right? But the problem is with this particular first set of names. 10 minus 9 will never give us, 10 minus 11 will never give us 9, right? To treat this particular item, right, this particular 10, what we have to do is we will have to make a little tweak here, and we will have to add 1 here, correct? So we will add 1 here, and now we are getting any error for all these, no problem in that. Why? Because what we will do is that if there is error, basically we want to subtract 0, right? So basically we want to subtract 0, right? So if we subtract 1 from 1 we will get 0. If we subtract 1 from this 2 we will get 1, and similarly we will be able to generate this particular pattern. So now our next step will be to subtract from this particular array the array we generated in our last step, and let's press enter. So we have got to this particular set of pattern that we discussed, right? So 0 1 2 3 4 until 9 for Jeff, then 0 until 4 for Yuri, and 0 till 5 for Eric, and likewise, right? Now next step is very simple, that with this particular array we have to add this particular array, right? So just a second, plus this array, right? And we have our desired result, that is for Jeff we have this particular sequence from 1001 till 1010 as we wanted. Again, for Yuri as well we have this particular sequence, for Eric we have this particular sequence, right? So now in order to assimilate all these steps as a single cell formula, what we can do is we can use hstack function. So equals to hstack, and we wish to stack this particular array will with this particular array, right, that we generated in our last step. Let's close the bracket, press enter, and we have got this as a result, and this is as per what we were expected to generate, right? So this is the dynamic array formula that we can use. And let's say we remove this, right, and let's remove this as well. So we can do one more thing, that in order to generate a single function that just takes this particular table as our input, we could write a let statement. Again, we would cover that in detail in some another video, but for now, let's say we have steps in different cells, but we could definitely assimilate all of them inside a single let statement. That is any day possible. So let's check our output by making some changes in our input table. So let's do one thing, let's color this cell and let's observe the change here. For Jeff we have 10 tickets, so let's change this to 7, and let's do one thing, let's change this to 1007. right? As you can see that our result also got updated, and we have Jeff repeated 7 times with this particular sequence, right? So this is working absolutely fine. I hope you like the video and you like the idea behind this construction, and I hope you enjoyed the step by step explanation and the solution for this particular challenge. So thanks a lot, and hope to see you in the more such upcoming challenges and their solutions. So thanks a lot.